Hey guys, Grumpy here with episode 9 of our Zero to Hero Let's Play as Mercury Guy. So, in the previous episode, we finally completed all the preliminary quests that we had to build up enough trust so that we can get into the main storyline. And then also we did a little shopping, we bought a couple of nice ships, so I can't wait to outfit those. But here we're just going to do the main storyline today. So this episode should be relatively straightforward. It is just two missions. So first we have to go find Carouse, and then we have to go access the Calicor archive. So let's start with Carouse, and then we'll go ahead and do the archive next. Now, I did just say that the episode should be straightforward, but Starsector is usually anything but. Um, Starsector is one of those games that is it's fine right up until it isn't. Essentially, it's kind of like a Darkest Dungeon or like a what's another game like that? Like a Path of Exile. Those are two games that I play a lot of, and in those games, it's pretty much everything's fine, and then suddenly you're face first on the ground, trying to figure out what just happened. All right, let's head over here to Finkelhind and start this quest. They're gonna ask us to talk to a bunch of people. Sure. Alrighty. And we're just gonna hit one a bunch of times. This is just us running around the planet finding different contacts to meet this person. We need to go talk to the special agent here, and we can just hit one a couple times, and then it gives us the prompt for the next step of the quest. Go ahead and cut the link. Like I talked about, I don't want to spoil the story exactly. There's an interesting story going on here. So I'll leave it up to you guys to read into it. Alright, and then we need to go to Rasa. Oh, hello. Hmm. Okay, I don't know if this will work. You can turn quickly. It's a little tricky. You have to go dark, stop moving, and then sustain burn. Okay. Well, we couldn't get out the way. Luckily this, I don't think they want to fight. I think it's just an intelligence officer that wants to speak to us. Most quest fleets in the game, they'll have that little quest icon. They're sent to destroy you. So it's best to avoid it. I wasn't paying attention, so this is an example of Starsector throwing a curveball. You know, everything's fine right up until it isn't. I'm just gonna say you'll get nothing from me, and then just leave. There is a little funny back and forth you can go through with the officer on board that ship. I'm just gonna skip it though. Alright, and we need to go to the Lakato habitat, so it is over here. Alright, let's go see if we can find Carouse. Okay. Need to talk to the Archon. You know where she is. Okay. So we need to find evidence that she's on board the habitat. And you do that by talking to the pirates and then also inspecting an abandoned station. Alright, you have to talk to the boss. Your transponder I believe your transponder has to be off in order to talk to the boss. Sure. Alright. And then let's go ahead and inspect the habitat here. Oh wait, we were supposed to go to the bar first. Yeah. Okay. You have to go to the bar first on the habitat before you go to the station. My bad. But the point I was gonna make earlier in the video about Starsector throwing curveballs at you is today. Oops, whoopsie. Make sure you have your transponder on in regulated space. All right, let's go. All right, now we can go inspect the habitat down here. But what I was gonna say about Starsector throwing curveballs before I get interrupted one more time is that on today's stream, so I stream on Twitch, I ended up losing my seventh attempt at an Iron Man spacer salvage run, in a pretty dramatic fashion. So, um, after about I think 2 weeks, I've been running this campaign. We finally got to the colonization phase, and the stream was obviously very excited. We were all happy. Immediately after, like probably not even within a week of in-game time, we immediately got declared on by Syndria. So that was very short-lived. Our our run ended soon after that. So it is important that you treat Star Sector with the reverence it deserves. Okay, so do you know anything about the incidents? I'm looking for Celia Cruz. I know she's here. Let me talk to her. I have orders. Alright. Alright. Let's go. Okay, so we got the first part of the puzzle. We need to go over to High Brazil now and do the second part. Yeah, so it is important that when you're playing Star Sector, you're paying attention. It's very easy to go on autopilot, but that is usually the quickest way to end a run. Alright. Okay. Yeah. Thankfully, questing in the core worlds is a little safer. Hmm. A drover, asunder a shrike. A drover, asunder a shrike. And then a few frigates. An aurora, a harbinger, a drover, and a shrike. This fight would be significantly harder, but I think this fight is worth it. Let's check our relations with the Persians. It's neutral. There's no reason to take this fight. It would be to get better ships, but honestly, we have 1.2 million credits. It's not really gonna be worth it. On the other hand, fighting Tritachyon does make sense because an Aurora is a very rare ship. It's hard to find Auroras for sale. Usually you have to produce them yourself, like via blueprints, or you have to commission with Tritachyon. Okay, so let's evaluate this. No, with the small fleet that we have, the 3 ships that we have, I don't think we can take this fight. We we could, but not without extreme risk. I don't think it's worth it. We're not here to fight. We're just here to do the questing. However, let's see what the aftermath of this battle is. Oh, unfazed. They all have medium CR. That Aurora would be nice, but again, this is just inviting too much risk. I'm treating this as if it's Iron Man, and on an Iron Man account, I probably wouldn't take this fight. Oh. It would be nice to have an Aurora, but it's unnecessary. Anything interesting? A Shepherd and a Dram? No. Let's jump in, keep our transponder on. And let's head over here to Echo Breeze. And talk to Arroyo. Alright. Told you can solve a problem. Alrighty. Now we need to go meet another acquaintance. His name is Gargoyle. He is in Port Say. Alright, so let's go ahead over there. And Port Say is in Mayasora. There I double tap the sustain burn so that I can change direction relatively quickly. If you do want to get Tritachyon ships, but you don't want to commission with them, something you can do, I'm not sure if I demonstrated this. Something you can do is farm in Mayasora. So, in Mayasora there are 3 makeshift relays, and Tritachyon usually owns all 3 of these. So what they'll do is they'll send out small patrol fleets to go ahead and watch over those makeshift relays, and what you can do is you can just fight them and get the ships from them. So for example, if we fly by these, we should see at least 1 patrol fleet. Okay, yeah, so here's an example of a patrol fleet that usually dots around this star system. So here would be a Shrike, an Afflictor, and a Brawler. If you win this fight, you have a chance to get any one of those 3 ships. So that's one way to get Tritachyon ships. They'll usually be on the smaller size. I think the largest ship I've seen was a Harbinger. But I mean, it's a Harbinger that you didn't have to buy, so definitely worth the attempt at least. Let's go to open the comm directory, find Gargoyle. He's gonna send us on another fetch quest. Alright, we need to head over to Nova Maxios, which is down here. I knew where it was. I don't know why I checked the map. Nova Maxios is in Magic. Alright. Ooh, there's a Phaeton here. Let's see if we can get that. No. Oh, that would have been nice. The Phaeton's a good ship. I'm sure I've mentioned that before. I don't... Stop it. I'm addicted to fighting. There's no reason for me to be sizing up fleets when I only have 3 ships. Alright, let's head over here, pick up his items, and then we need to go to the Atlan system, and it's gonna ask us to go do a spy satellite mission. But first, before we do that, let's see if we can find a phase ship, because that'll make this mission a lot easier. Alright, let's repair. Let's also buy some fuel from you. And then let's check to see what you have for sale. You have a Hyperion for sale. Wow. Okay, the Hyperion is one of the best ships in the game. Full stop. I love the Brawler. I love the LP Brawler. The a triple S modded Hyperion is one of the highest DPS ships in the game. Capable of taking down a capital ship in the player's hands. Alright. Let's also buy another Strike. Let's buy an Afflictor. Let's buy a Tempest as well. All three of those fantastic ships. And we have the credits for it, so we might as well. Alright, and then as far as weapons go, you have we'll buy 2 Christmas trees. Hyper velocity drivers, those are really good. We'll buy a Piranha. We don't need that many broadswords. And then what else? I believe that's it. Alright, let's go ahead and get out of here. We're not carrying, again, we don't have any contraband. The only thing that Tritachyon considers contraband is AI cores. So they'll go ahead and run a scan. Okay, or they just don't care at all. That's also fine by me. Let's buy some crew and let's get out of here. Alright. So in order to do a spy satellite mission, I talked about this in our phase guide, but you really want to use a phase ship for these kinds of missions because of the way that phase ships interact with sensor profile and sensor range. Alright. Let's go ahead and keep our transponder off. And again, we get that +1 even though we traded on the black market. Alright. So let's go ahead and drop off every other ship besides our Afflictor here. And let's talk about sensor profile and sensor range really quick. Just a quick refresher. Also, do we have any antimatter blasters? I feel like we should. We do. Alright, let's refit this really quickly. I think we have phase anchor. We do not have phase anchor. Interesting. Okay, well, let's just do this then. We need the capacity more than anything. And let's also go with flux core adjunct. And then weapon groups together and linked. Sure. Something like this. This is an okay ship. So the way that phase ships work is, or the way that sensor range works, just a really quick recap, is sensor range is how far a fleet can detect another object or another fleet. Sensor profile is how easy you are to detect. So right now, with sustained burn on, we have a sensor profile of 210. If we go dark, our sensor profile goes all the way down to 52. And then if we do something like hiding in a asteroid belt, our sensor profile is 13. Like a fleet literally has to be on top of us in order for them to detect us. And that's because phase ships have a interesting interaction with sensor profile in that it reduces it even further than it normally would. So it's a very long tooltip, but if you look down at yes, if the second to last paragraph, it says the detect at range multiplier for your fleet is 0.033. The fleet's transponder must be off for this multiplier to be applied. So that's why we want to go in with a phase ship, and you can have up to 5 phase ships, and it'll still maintain like a low sensor profile. The first 5 ships of the 5 largest fleet. The 5 largest ships contribute to the sensor profile for your fleet. Oof. Alright, let's go head over to Atlan and then drop off this spy satellite. And it is located right outside of Quaddle. Do you have an antimatter blaster for sale by chance? You don't. Okay, that's fine. If I get into combat, I'd rather have 3 antimatter blasters than 2. But it is what it is. Ideally we don't get into combat since our detection range is so small anyway. Alrighty. Plus we're fast enough that we would get away from any ship that would try to chase us. Alright, so here's Chit's Mostock. We can we'll drop in on top of Chit's Mostock. We'll just keep our transponder off and then pause immediately. It looks like there's a fleet over here, so we'll just go dark. Okay, it's a merchant fleet, so that's fine. Turn on our sustained burn then as we approach the comms relay. Oh, there's one patrol fleet, but again, once we go dark, this is how close the patrol fleet has to be to us in order for them to detect us. Okay. So as we approach, this should be no problem. We install the hack device, and then we can go ahead and get out of here. And once we're sufficiently far away, we can sustain burn, and then transverse jump out. In and out, easy just like that. I usually run 1 afflictor or up to 5 phase ships when I do spy satellite missions. It just makes it that much easier. Alright, let's head back to Mysora and go talk to Gargoyle. Okay. Alright. And with those 2 missions complete, I think we'll conclude the episode. So let's go talk to him. He's up here. Okay, cool. So now we got both contacts that Provost Bard sent us to go fetch. After doing a couple errands for them, we're gonna go. I don't want to say turn them in, because that has, you know, negative connotations. But we do have to go drop them off at the academy. Alrighty. Okay, dropping into. There's pirate activity over Glacia. It would appear there's pirate activity over Glacia. Let's head to Corvus, buy some supplies, and then we'll head back and see if we can't sneak into the academy. Let's not buy that on the open market. Let's repair and buy a couple more supply. Okay. Phase ships do consume more supply than normal, so that's something to be aware of. Okay. Looks like whatever fleet was there has moved on. So let's go talk to the provost. Alright. And then you need to leave and then talk again. And this will start a second prompt. Okay. And now the gang's all here. Alright. So open the comm directory. Oh, wait. We have to leave one more time. And then we can come back. Okay. There we go. And what Bard will do, or Barrett will do, is she'll call a meeting between all of us, and then we'll have a long chat about the next step in our journey. Alright, which is going to be Project Ziggurat, where we have to find one other individual, Kelsey Astaria. But we'll cover that on the next episode. This was a relatively straightforward, kind of dull-ish episode, but one that's very necessary. I want to rush the quest as soon as possible, and then do exploration. I find the rewards that you get from the main storyline just to be so much of a quality of life that it really makes the end game much more bearable. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Grumpy out.